Okay.
Great.
All right. Let's see, first of all, present at this meeting is Kip, Stella, Mary Lee,
Peggy.
Peggy. And of course, I'm totally unprepared there, but
Vicky.
and Stan, Vicky, and Lindsay. Okay. We would like to call this meeting to order on Tuesday, May 14th, 9:35 a.m.
Ooh.
Do we have a motion? Or do
We don't need to.
We don't need a motion.
Abigail took it out.
Here we go. So
So-
sorry. Okay. So our meeting today is to discuss the awarding of the contract for the library space planning project. And we have a proposal before us, of course, and I move to direct and author.
We need to go over the staff report first.
Yeah. Go by order here, okay.
We could just skip it.
Yeah. All right, so our agenda today, the first thing we have is, well, wait a minute. We don't need that, okay. First thing on our agenda today is the staff report, and I'll turn that over to Kip.
And then I will kindly turn it over to Peg, who offered to do a
Okay.
brief summary of what we went through.
Okay, well, a couple months ago, we put out an RFP for the space planning efforts that were based on strategic plan initiatives. That went out and we received 7 proposals. On that RFP, we listed the priorities and reviewed, it was kind of interesting, we reviewed all the proposals based on those priorities. What we quickly learned is that words are important, and there was quite a range in the 7 different responses of how that was interpreted. What we quickly realized from the 7, I think they all had valid ideas and proposals. 3 of them quickly fell off of the list, and we shortlisted that down to 4. We interviewed 4 of them. I think those were even very enlightening. We learned more, and what we learned from the last 4 interviews was to really question the final 2, mostly related to fee. The fee structures were quite varied, and a little bit, I think, so varied that we wanted to, I think what came to the surface is that our fiduciary responsibility to the county, to the community as a whole was really paramount at that point. And so while the final 2 were very solid, 1 was quite high in terms of the fee structure. So our proposal is, before you, is to allow the library to next step, negotiate a proposal, a final contract with EUA, which is a company based in Denver, but they do have other branches. Ryan Wallace is the head person on that team. He had worked on this library in the renovation. So Ryan knows the building quite well. He's with a different firm now, but he's quite familiar. And another woman named Kelly, who has some ties here to Jackson, which just by chance, that I think that helps, knowing that they know the place. So what am I missing? We did score everything pretty carefully. You'll see those scores on the list there on the staff report. And let's see, I just want to thank Kip and Stella for putting in the effort. It's a whole different language for them, I think, and they were very, very thoughtful. And I know the consensus is that EUA is the firm we should try to negotiate with. I think at this point, if that's not successful, we would have to go to a plan B, but we're hopeful that that will be successful. We're not sure why it wouldn't be. So.
And Stella and I would like to thank Peg. Stella and I were being paid while we did this work. Peg volunteered. And we couldn't have done it without her. her expertise, so.
It's a lot of great
Yeah.
work, and
Thank
your insights on being an architect really helped, I know. So,
And I have a few questions.
Sure.
Do you have any, theories about why Johnston Architects was so much higher than EUA? Do you,
We tried to figure that out in a fair way by explaining with some clarity. I think there was an understanding from Johnston that there might be a bigger scope. So we're looking more towards the space planning efforts within the building footprint, structure. We did ask them to clarify in hopes that Johnston, because they probably were the most qualified, but we would have to pay for it, and it didn't come down very much. They also have a local architect. Both of them are proposing a local architect. Johnston brought in Prospect, and that was an extra fee, whereas EUA has a local architect concept, but hasn't picked the local architect, and their fee, that fee is included in their proposal. So I just think they're I don't want to use the word bloated. I think they are really highly qualified, more than we need.
I see.
Yeah, it's probably just more than we need. And if they resonated with, you know, what they have to say resonated with all of us. They're very strong, but it was more
is that?
than we need. And they're
Where's
based
that?
in Seattle.
oh, okay,
Mhm,
yeah.
yeah. And, you know, we like them, but the fees were so different that we
Yeah.
felt that it wouldn't be the responsible thing to do.
And I just wanted to clarify too, that I read in the proposal that their EUA has a connection to your former firm. And I just wanted to clarify that there is no conflict of interest for the record.
We worked with Ryan, he was with a different firm, he was actually with Ratio, which was
Oh.
another firm. So
Yeah,
nothing changed
Yeah,
over time.
yeah.
So although we do know Ryan, that we don't, you know, and I'm no longer with my firm either. So
Right.
enough changes have happened, but they haven't proposed who their local architect will be. They had just said they would like to consider to bring one in. So we don't know where that stands right now, and typically that would be a consultant to the architect, so.
Yeah.
But yes, we were very careful about that as
Yeah,
well.
good. And I just wanna.
I was gonna add, before you ask another
yes,
one,
yeah.
jump back to the first question.
Mhm.
As we were going through the interview process, we got to a point where maybe we had also thought the project was gonna be bigger than what the strategic plan actually says. If we went back, we really focused on the language in the strategic plan, and it does really just call for more efficient use of the current space that we have now,
Mhm.
and not bumping out walls or not tearing down walls and things like that. Pushing the building out into the yard or whatever.
Yeah.
It really was focused on what the community said they wanted in this strategic plan. Somewhere down the line, when we have 200 housing units across the street and Northern South Park is fully built out, maybe we need another branch or a much bigger building to meet those needs. But right now, the strategic plan calls for just working with what we have.
Yeah, the process was very helpful. We don't know the numbers, but the process was very helpful to say, when the study's done, if there was work to be done, what would that budget look like? You know, where is the county? Would we need that? So we really kind of had to go big in order to hone it back in. And that's where we felt like, you know, that those are very big questions, and I'm guessing this type of thing might need to be done again in 5 to 10 years, but at this point, it's more than our needs are currently, and more than the county and the library can afford.
I just wanted to, back up what everyone else has expressed, that we were really lucky to have you and your expertise to help go through this process, and, thank you.
Thank you. It was fun.
Peggy, did you write that report?
I did not.
Okay. I thought that whole process was really elegant, and I appreciate that. So whoever's responsible for it. I love it.
If you saw behind the scenes, maybe not elegant.
I just love it.
I just wanted to clarify that strategic plan was done before coffee in the lobby. Have they changed anything now?
The strategic plan called for coffee, so, that's just the start of improving the lobby, hopefully.
Okay. All right, any other comments or questions?
Oh, I just wanted to say too, that reading the proposal, EUA proposal, did, help me understand the need here. Because and I thought the language they used expressing how libraries have changed. And the reason that people come to libraries is quite different than it was even when our library was built. And I hope that we have a lot of opportunities to kind of bring the public along and our elected officials and everyone else about those needs that are changing and how this project will benefit the community.
Well, they were forward thinking. The other thing that I think we appreciated was we don't all know what the next step is, that they're going to help us define their work. We're going to be they're not coming in and telling us what to do. Whereas I think some of the other teams kind of almost already know, so that they felt like they might investigate with us a little bit more what the process might look like. Even though they have a framework for that, they felt more open to, we think of ourselves as a very special library. And so yeah, I felt like they really spoke to that.
Good.
And we did focus on telling everybody that we interviewed that community input was essential to a successful plan.
Good.
So they do plan to involve the community. Not sure to what degree, how many meetings and things like that, but they
Which
will.
is a big part of that education process.
And as we were going through the process, we realized that starting this process today with the architect is probably not a good idea. I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks, so kicking off doesn't make sense. And then we're in summer and we know where everyone is in this. So I think we're gonna ask for a fall kickoff.
Not a longer time frame, but a shifted time frame.
Yeah.
Good.
Kelly Wemple is related to Bob Wemple, who is one of our library friends, by the way.
Yep. He did tax help this year for us.
Yes, he sure did.
We didn't know that. There you go. It wasn't an easy process, and it wasn't an easy decision,
No.
but I think
much harder
we
than I thought.
were very comfortable when we all said, oh yeah, let's, I think it, and more than it just felt good. We were able to quantify, and I feel good about being able to respond to anyone about why this choice.
And if I just may chime in, I also think when we started the first 3 that we eliminated, if you will, that we decided we were not going to take them to an interview, we were all quite unanimous on that point too. So we were very unanimous on which 4 we wanted to move forward with, and throughout the process, I think we kept coming up with the same teams.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stella didn't argue too much.
Oh.
She was figuring the money.
Mhm.
I think it was eye-opening for us because we don't really have a dollar fund, budgeted for this specifically. And so really to even, work through that, like what might it look like? Where is it coming? It was really trying to be responsible, on all levels, finances were clearly part of that.
I was really quite impressed with the financial figure. It just seems like a very good economical choice. I've seen such larger sort of design and development fees that this just seemed like really a very reasonable bid or estimate or proposal.
Yeah, we're gonna get value. I'm
Yeah.
sure we're gonna get great value.
Well, you guys worked as a team and that's what we're all supposed to be. And that's great.
Okay, I think we can just move through them and then do
Yeah,
one
you can do your motion if you'd like.
for each thing.
No, the motion is,
Do you want to discuss any of these or feel like we've
Oh.
already discussed everything?
I'd be happy to make a motion if it's time to make a
I mean,
motion.
I think
Yeah.
we've kind of covered everything within there.
Have you guys all had a chance to look at the final the one that we
Yeah.
Oh,
selected?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
read them all.
Okay,
51 pages, right?
no,
Yeah,
okay,
it was-
great,
It was impressive.
perfect.
It really was.
Okay, is there a motion to move and direct and authorize Teton County Library staff to draft a contract for the services with EUA for library place space planning services and to bring the contract back to the library board for consideration at a future meeting?
I move to direct and authorize Teton County Library staff to draft a contract for services with EUA for library space planning services and to bring this contract back to the library board for consideration at a future meeting.
There's a second,
I'll second.
okay, moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We got it, passed.
Got it.
Just nervous.
It will come back to us.
Okay. I don't think there's any other,
We can't do any other
so it's
business,
just
so.
for this purpose,
Yeah.
okay. All
I
right,
move to adjourn this special May, what is it, the 14th special meeting?
Second,
and the second, okay, all in favor, aye,
Aye.
opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Okay, now can I ask a question?